All right, I know it's been a while, guys, but we are back. We're super excited about it, and we have the one and only Kahyun Kim coming on the show from Cocaine Bear. Man, oh man, what a wild freaking film that was.
Oh my gosh, and what a wild interview this is. She is so fun. She had us laughing throughout the entire thing. She's just fantastic. And her path to get to where she was, wait till you hear about this little story about her mom just being brutally honest with her.
Oh
It's
my goodness.
so good.
Absolutely wild, man. We're super excited for this interview. Well, that's later on the show. Now, let's get a little crazy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. We're super
Yes.
excited to have you here and to be back doing a full-length show. You guys know your host with the most, myself, J-Lo Fantastic, and the one and only Mal.
What's up?
Guys, before we tease the rest of this show, because it is a lot, be sure to leave us a rating on the podcast, comment below, and tell us what you actually think about this podcast. Because if you didn't know, leaving a rating actually helps this show get seen by more people,
Facts.
especially those who are trying to break into the entertainment industry. We're trying to be that one-stop shop for those actors, writers, creators, directors, all of those good people who are trying to break into it. We're super excited. But man, we have a lot to talk about today. CinemaCon. If you guys haven't heard, a lot of shit dropped, okay? And I mean, exclusively, we're going to be talking all about it. We're super excited. Of course, all the big studios had something to say.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course. They were waiting for their prime time moment.
Without doubt.
But
man.
before we get this thing started, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. We got shirts, we got hats, we got anything and everything you need for your merchandise pleasure. And of course, be sure to follow the company, Crazy Ant Media, and ITCAFpodcast on social media, anywhere and everywhere you're on social media, and subscribe to this podcast, anywhere and everywhere you listen to your podcast, and the YouTube channel. Super freaking excited about it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
before we get started with CinemaCon stuff, we are going to talk about the DGA and all this stuff that's happening with the possible writer strike. Now, of course, we've been talking loosely about it for the past, I feel like month, 2 months, because
Yep.
I mean, everybody really has. Negotiations on the new Writers Guild of America contract could go through this weekend as the sides continue to trade back and forth proposals ahead of Monday's deadline. The WGA and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers may hold a session tomorrow, according to sources close to this situation. Now, giving looming deadlines and prospects of a strike grinding ahead in Hollywood. Now, we all don't want that because production is well underway in multiple things. But it's by no surprise that the Guild and the AMPTP representatives would look to work through the weekend in hopes to avoiding this industry-wide disruption, because it would, man. I mean, I feel like a lot of things would go back to reality television, and with the streaming wars being well underway, we do not need that.
No, and even more so, which is this time it's getting serious because you brought up reality television, but they might not even allow that. And now, in case you're unfamiliar with what's actually going on, what are they fighting over? Here are a few of the details. The WGA contract expires at midnight this coming Monday, and the strike could begin as soon as Tuesday morning. The Guild has advised that if a strike is called, talk shows such as The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Real Time with Bill Maher, etc., would be shut down immediately. On the studio side, strike preparations are well underway. Several broadcast shows are wrapping production this week as they set their schedules knowing well in advance that a strike is possible. So far, no scripted shows have pulled permits to film on location in Los Angeles next week. Typically, such permits would have been pulled by Wednesday, according to Film LA, which oversees the permitting system. Now, it appears that productions are holding off in anticipation of a strike. Film LA previously reported that location shooting fell 24% in the first 3 months of 2023 compared to the same time last year. Now, on Tuesday, the Guild advised members that if a strike is called, they will not be allowed to perform writing services, pitch, hold general meetings, or have their agents work on deals. Showrunners and other hyphenates are allowed to work during a strike. So as long as they do not perform writing services, they're still good to go. Now, last week, the Guild announced that 97.85% of the voting members approved a strike authorization, giving leadership the power to call a strike if no deals reached this weekend. In a memo to investors on April 19th, the WGA stated that if there's no agreement on May 1st, a work stoppage will begin the next day, and writing for television, feature films, and streaming series will cease. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, because this is a fluid situation going on over the weekend, and we will tweet about it. We will update you if anything if a deal is made over the weekend, we'll let you know. But as of right now, they're painting signs and getting ready to go in front of the studio. So I'm iffy at best if a deal is going to happen.
Yeah, it's really crazy, man. I mean, all those shows that you're watching right now, you better enjoy, because this upcoming season, especially during the summer, you're not going to get a lot of stuff if they do go into strikes. So I don't know. I don't know how the studios are going to do this. They're probably just going to keep promoting their old stuff and be like, just go back and watch.
And guys, it affects new stuff too. Like for us, for example, writing a television series and pitching, we have interest from one of the studios, but they are holding off. They are not buying anything right now or listening to any pitches right now because of the possible strike. They just wouldn't have anybody to write a show that they buy. So they're cautious about spending money, which totally makes sense. So not only is all the shit that's on the air or in the theaters in danger, but anything that you were potentially working on could be in danger as well.
Exactly. Like you said, it's a very fluid situation. So be sure to follow us at Crazy Ant Media, at ITCAFpodcast, and both of us on social media, so that you will be up to date with everything that's going on in Hollywood.
Yes.
Now heading over to Disney, the Walt Disney Company did sue the governor of Florida, Ron Desantis. Oh, isn't that guy possibly running for president? Yeah, that guy. And other state officials this week for what claims to be a political retaliation for its opposition last year to Florida's Don't Say Gay law. Now, which prevents some teachers from talking about the LGBTQ issues or people in school. Now, the lawsuit comes after the few new the lawsuit comes after a few new board DeSantis created to govern Disney's Orlando resorts nullified state contracts that allowed the company to continue to develop its properties with relative independence. Now, the lawsuit claims that DeSantis and his allies infringed on the company's constitutional rights and illegally voided those contracts. A targeted campaign of government retaliation orchestrated at every step by Governor DeSantis as punishment for Disney's protected speech now threatens Disney's business operations, jeopardizes its economic future in the region, and violates its constitutional rights. Now, the compliant states in the lawsuit, Disney argues that those actions and threats together constitute a politically motivated campaign for revenge that violates their First Amendment right. Now, G.S. Hans, Associate Director of Cornell Law School First Amendment Clinic, said that the company might have a case, in fact. Now, here's what he said. Now, public officials here are speaking brazenly about their motivations and that they usually will serve a claim of personal retaliation, he said. The company asked the court to reverse the move to nullify the contracts and bar Florida officials from enforcing laws signed by the governor that dissolved Disney's special tax status and created the new governing board. So basically, DeSantis created a board that wanted to control all of Disney's shit, and that's not okay. And especially, like we said in this statement, if you were keeping up, it's basically retaliation from that Don't Say Gay bill from last year when Chapek was running everything. So there it is.
Yeah, and DeSantis, it's funny because Disney is saying that it was politically motivated, that DeSantis is punishing them for political things that they disagree on. And DeSantis came out with a statement today about the lawsuit and called it political retaliation.
Of course.
It's like, okay, at least they're in agreement on one thing. They both agree that they are politically retaliating against each other's views. And that's just fucking ridiculous. But I do think this is true. I think that Disney came out in support of a bill too late, by the way, because Chapek really fucked that whole thing up. And DeSantis is so against it. And it was clear DeSantis is retaliating. I think they're going to win this lawsuit.
Agreed.
God knows how long it's going to take, because we all know that can be in court forever, but I do think they're going to win. That wasn't the only thing, though. Before we even get to their huge news from CinemaCon, they also had some more bad news on top of the lawsuit. Disney is also well into its second round of layoffs, which has included senior level programming executives at Disney branded television. The second round of Disney layoffs so far has impacted a number of TV and film divisions, including ABC, Freeform, ABC Signature, 20th Television, Disney Plus, Disney Branded Entertainment, Hulu, Disney TV Animation, Walt Disney Television Alternative, and Searchlight, with Disney Television Studios marketing and first-run syndication among the units getting dissolved and a number of areas being consolidated. ESPN just announced that they just saw a series of layoffs there as well. So it's literally everything company wide is seeing people getting ditched.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty crazy, especially when Iger, coming from the television side, is like going so much towards the television side.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild. But again, we will keep this under development, and we will keep on top of it. That's why you got to follow us. All right, now let's jump into CinemaCon. Like we've been teasing, oh my goodness, this has been the biggest week of 2023. Disney took the stage and shared a ton of new details, clips, and trailers for its upcoming films, including Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, Elemental, Wish, The Little Mermaid, A Haunting in Venice, and many more. So let's get into all of these juicy details.
Yes.
I mean, let's start off with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because that is the next Marvel installation that's coming out. They debuted an exclusive clip from the upcoming film. The clip was focused on our heroes and their colorful spacesuits, and it was an extended version of the one we've seen before, we shall say. The scene is set to music by the 90s band Space Hog, and it finds our beloved Guardians making a jump through space wearing colorful suits, eventually landing on what looks like some sort of living space creature or asteroid. You never know with James Gunn. Now, Peter Quill, of course, James Pratt, takes this moment to speak to Gamora about the shared past that she does not remember. Now, Quill attempts to connect with her, but is quickly interrupted when other Guardians reveal they can hear their apparently private conversations on the comm systems. Of course, classic Guardians comedy. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 once again hails from Gunn, of course, like we've said, who became an A-list filmmaker back in 2014, thanks to the first Guardians, of course, and now is the co-head of DC Studios. Ironically, he was unable to attend the DC portion of the CinemaCon event because of his duties contractually obligated to Guardians of the Galaxies. It's so funny, man.
Oh yeah. And people are pissed about that. It's like, duh, he's got to do what he's got to do.
He doesn't want to get sued. Disney is already fucking suing everybody. Come on now.
The studio also shared the trailer for The Marvels, though the trailer has been previously released. Brie Larson stars in The Marvels, of course, the sequel to the 2019 $1 billion grosser Captain Marvel. This time around, she is joined by Miss Marvel's Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan and WandaVision's Tanoa Paris, who plays Monica Rambeau, who, of course, with a child version of that character, appeared in Captain Marvel. Now, in The Marvels, its three heroes are connected in an inconvenient way. When one of them uses their powers, they switch places, which makes fighting rather difficult.
Yeah.
Nia DaCosta, known for Candyman, is at the helm of this one, and it arrives in theaters on November 10th.
Very interesting. Very, very. We didn't get a chance to talk about the trailer, but it is. It looks good. It looks fun, but it doesn't look like the drama that we need. I mean, they made that. In my opinion, we talked about it a little bit. They made that dramatic switch between mostly drama and some comedy to a lot of comedy and a little bit of drama. So, I mean, you got to balance that out.
I agree, and I hope they switch back, because I think this too much comedy is not working.
I think it's causing the fatigue, man. I really do.
I do.
Well, now heading over to Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, and it's almost here. The Disney brought brand new live action packed clip to CinemaCon to help with the wait feature. Indy and Phoebe Waller-Bridges, Helena chasing Mads Mikkelsen's Jorg Voller by car. The clip saw our heroes running and diving through the streets of Tangers, and we get some lovely and entertaining banter between Indy and Helena. Now, throughout this process, Helena provides or proves that she is just as much of a force to be reckoned with as Indy, and Indy can't help but yell as she performs one dangerous stunt after another. Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny will be released in theaters June 30th of 2023. That's right around the corner, man.
Oh, heck yeah. And Harrison Ford has confirmed, undoubtedly so, this is it for Indiana Jones. This is it. It is not going forward. So there you go. Steven Spielberg also signed off on it, approval. He said it's a great film and he loves it. So there you go.
Awesome.
Hey, when you wish upon a star. Have you heard that song? Do you know that star? Well, guess what? Disney released the first trailer for Wish. And if you ever have wondered how the wishing star, the one that so many Disney characters do wish upon, came to be, well, the Magic Kingdom attempts to explain that eternal question in its newest animated musical, Wish. West Side Story Oscar winner Ariana DeBose voices the main character, Asha, who, along with her helpful goat named Valentino, finds out one day that their wishes can literally come true. The film is set in the fantastical kingdom of Rosas, which is ruled over by a king voiced by Chris Pine. Disney, once the golden standard of animation, has recently struggled to score at the box office with its animated offerings. Encanto, which was released earlier in the pandemic, was a modest hit given the circumstances, but other releases like Lightyear and Strange World massively flopped in the theaters and lost money for the studio. So Disney needs Wish to connect with the kids and their parents when this film debuts, and that's in November 22nd. So,
man, they really do. They're really reaching too, because like you just said, a lot of Pixar and Disney animated films have not been going over really well. They're banking on Wish, and they're also banking on Elemental as well. Now, Disney revealed a 20-minute extended look at the beginning of Pixar's Elemental, of the upcoming film, that looks to explore the perceived differences between fire, water, and an air residents in Element City, and how all have much more in common than they actually believe. The clip introduces us to Ember, played by Leah Lewis, as a baby, and the moment when her parents, Bernie and Cinder, arrive at Element City. We are shown snippets of Ember's life and learn she has a quick temper and has an attitude of elements don't mix. Her family owns a shop in town, and she is shown helping run it at times and getting angry when customers kind of suck. We understand that. On one particular day, her anger gets the best of her, and she causes a flood in the store's basement. This leads to Ember meeting Wade, the water resident, who is also a city inspector that is going to give her a ticket for the shop's piping not being up to code. Now, the clip ends with Ember chasing Wade through Element City as he tries to get her violation back to City Hall. Elements will be released in theaters on June 16th of 2023.
I'm excited for that one. All the clips I've seen from it in the trailer, it looks cute.
It does look cute.
I think that's going to be one of those Pixar films that rebounds and does well. I'm hoping anyway. I really think this one is going to do well. It's an actual live action remake of an animated film, which seemed to be doing well for them. I'm of course talking about The Little Mermaid, and star Melissa McCarthy made waves at CinemaCon as part of Disney's presentation. McCarthy, who plays, of course, the villainous Ursula, brought the song Poor Unfortunate Souls from the feature, showing off a singing voice, apparently, that not generally heard from the comic actor. The scene was so well received in the room, with theater owners giving it a big applause. The scene also provided glimpses of Flounder, who's voiced by Jacob Tremblay, and Sebastian, voiced by Daveed Diggs. Halle Berry, of course, stars as Ariel in the live-action remake of the 1989 animated classic. Other stars in this film are going to include Javier Bardem, Awkwafina, and Jonah Hauer-King. Rob Marshall directs The Little Mermaid, with Oscar winner Alan Menken returning to update his score and to write a new song that has lyrics from Lin-Manuel Miranda. The feature will also include, apparently, 4 new songs as well. So,
that's really exciting. exciting. Yeah, they're really pushing that one hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited for that one. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Well, Disney has opened up the door to Justin Simeon's directed film Haunted Mansion, offering a deeper peek inside the movie 3 months ahead of its July
Ooh.
28th release. Disney head of theatrical distribution Tony Chambers introduced the footage. Haunted Mansion follows Rosario Dawson's Gabby, a single mother and a new owner of a very haunted mansion, as she teams up with ragtag group to help her and her 9-year-old son, Travis, stave off the home's spooky inhabitants in New Orleans. Now, the scene at CinemaCon, attendees saw featured Dawson, Dylan, Wilson, Stanfield, and Haddish. Remember, Tiffany Haddish is in this thing too, investigating the house and trying to locate a hidden room. Now, Stanfield's character discovers a door disguised as a painting, and the crew enters an underground lair. They soon to discover that used to be for seances. Oh, shit. Now, the clip also features some of those cameos, including a quick peek at Levy's character, who appears with a thin mustache and former wear. Now, Curtis appears with her head in a crystal ball, and Majaji pops up working in a police department opposite of DeVito and Stanfield as he produces a sketch of the spooky subject. I'm pretty hopeful for this one as well. I think with these reboots, I guess you can really call them, they're taking their time. Before, I felt like they were trying to rush things out, but now I feel like they're kind of taking their time because they see how beforehand they weren't received very well. So I'm excited for that one as well.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, come on, a haunted mansion in New Orleans, it totally makes sense. It's a great cast. It should be a winner. Speaking of hauntings, A Haunting in Venice, which is an adaptation of a classic Agatha Christie novel called Halloween Party, received its first trailer also. Kenneth Branagh once again plays famed detective Hercule Poirot, and the film, which is set in a post-World War II Venice on All Hallows Eve. And it sees Poirot attending a seance at a decaying haunted palazzo.
Shit.
Shortly thereafter, a guest is murdered, and Poirot must do what he does best and figure out what is really going on. A Haunting in Venice will be released in theaters on September 15th and stars Kyle Allen, Camille Cotton, Jamie Dornan, Tina Fey, Jude Hill, Ali Khan, Emma Laird, Kelly Riley, yes, Yellowstone Kelly Riley, Ricardo Scamardo, and Michelle Yeoh. That's going to bring everybody right there. All you had to say was Michelle Yeoh.
That's it. That's very exciting, man. That's very exciting. Well, The Creator, which is a new film from the Rogue One and Godzilla Gareth Edwards, was given an executive first look, and it looks to tell a story set in the far future where humans and AI robots are at war with each other, something we've been trying to prevent in real life for a while. John David Washington stars in this film, and it looks to be potentially be caring about, for a child android. And the footage shows them talking about heaven and whether the child could even go because he's not a human. The Creator, which also stars Eternal's Gemma Chan, will open in theaters on September 29th of 2023. I mean, honestly, anything with John David Washington in it, I'm going to watch. So that's very exciting. But this is a very interesting premise. I wonder, what's the audience? What type of audience are you looking for with this film? So that'll be interesting in the marketing in this upcoming months.
It kind of sounds like iRobot a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Like where Sonny was kind of friendly, but he was trying to do what he thought was right kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Except this one's more child geared, I guess. So maybe that's the audience. I mean, that one did pretty well. So if you can find that audience again, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Next Goal, Taika Waititi's film about the American Samoa soccer team that is known for its 31-0 FIFA loss in 2001, was also given a new trailer at CinemaCon. In the film, Michael Fassbender's Thomas Rongen is hired as the World Cup qualifiers approach to help turn this team into winners. Next Goal will be released in theaters November 17th, so get ready for that one.
That's really exciting, man. And I hope all you Disney Plus subscribers are ready. I know I am. We are all going to be jumping in the quantum realm next month. That's right. Ant-Man and the Wasp will be hitting the streaming service. The film starring Paul Rudd, Yagaveen Lilly, Jonathan majors, will come to Disney Plus worldwide on May 17th. That's right. It's 89 days after Quantumania opened worldwide in the US on February 17th. It was released on digital April 18th, available to rent or purchase, and is set to drop on 4K ultra high definition, Blu-ray, and DVD on May 16th. Now, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm sorry, all you feminists out there, in Quantumania hauled in about $213 million at the domestic box office during its theatrical run, and it also grossed about $261.6 million worldwide. The movie had an estimated production budget of about 200 million.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. They can't all be crazy successful.
That's right. But hey, like you said, it is what it is. I'm sure it'll do well on Disney Plus.
I think so.
Are y'all still good? Still buckled in? You still here?
Yeah.
That was just Disney.
Exactly.
Take a drink, get a sip of water. We're jumping over to the bunny, Warner Brothers Discovery, who also had massive presentations. Warner Brothers Discovery presented a slew of trailers and announcements at the mega event. The first trailer of the upcoming film, The Flash, was released, as you guys know, during this year's Super Bowl. And building on that excitement, a brand new trailer for CinemaCon, which was also released online, if you guys didn't see it, showed even more details of the film. Now, the entire film was actually screened at the event later on in the day for the attendees. In this new trailer, if you haven't seen it, nearly all of the main characters are seen in it. Ezra Miller plays two versions of Barry Allen in different realities, while Ben Affleck appears as Batman in his own reality. Michael Keaton returns as the Dark Knight in an alternate reality in the story. Sasha Calle's Supergirl and Michael Shannon's General Zod are also seen much more in detail in this second trailer than they were in the first one. Now, this one hits screens June 16th. It's literally right around the corner. Not a single bad thing has been said about this film yet.
Literally.
Not a single bad. Everybody, even people who hate Ezra Miller, love it and love their performance. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this thing does.
Yeah, we did a Twitter poll and it was very divided. Overall, people would say they were going to see it no matter what, but it was very close to where people were saying, no, we're not going to see it, or we're going to just wait till it hits max. So, it's very interesting. Yeah, man, it makes me so sad that I have mixed feelings about it.
Exactly.
Right? Like because I am excited for the film, but I'm not excited who is frontlining the film. Can we just call it Batman featuring the Flash? Then I would feel better about going.
Well, and we've talked about this. Warner Brothers, to their credit, is doing, and I don't think this was Zaslav because he's a fucking idiot. You guys know my opinion on that. But somebody there, Alan Bergman, maybe, who's consulting now since he left Disney, I think that they are brilliantly pushing Keaton to the front of the line. And all of the marketing, if you guys have noticed, even in this newest trailer, it was Keaton doing the voiceover and it was Keaton telling the story. They're brilliantly using Keaton's Batman as the focal point and not the Flash.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working well. So let that keep going. And I meant Alan Horn, not Alan Bergman. Don't come at me. He's still at Disney. Horn over there. But I think that's a smart move because people like myself, my age, they're all in on Keaton's Batman. In this trailer, he delivered yet another classic line from the 89 film. He did, I'm Batman from the first one. This time he's like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Everybody's going crazy over it. They're super excited to see him. And what I think this is really brilliant about, people are talking about Batman Beyond and egging on James Gunn to go there with Keaton as the old Batman and to do. I think that's a brilliant move and that's a strong possibility and they should be paying attention to that. That's all I'm saying.
You guys know we've been pushing this for a while. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Though there was reportedly nothing that added to the already released trailer of the Blue Beetle, there was new footage that had more of the villain Carapax. Now, in case you missed it, the new trailer shows what fans have already seen, which of course is Blue Beetle Jamie Rhea getting his hands on the alien object that looks like a mystical scarab, which turns him into the superhero. Blue Beetle is the first film from either DCU or the Marvel Cinematic Universe to have a Latin superhero. Now, Meridina, who plays Blue Beetle, was joined on stage by Puerto Rican director Angel Manuel Soto as they talked about the film, which they're very excited about. And the film is set to be released in the fall, August 18th. So stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, but I wasn't overwhelmed by the trailer.
Yeah, it was very mid.
Yeah,
It was very mid.
yeah, so I'm kind of mixed on this one. We'll have to wait and see. James Wan and Jason Momoa addressed the event via video and presented the first trailer and extended look at the upcoming Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The footage shows lots of fisticuffs with Black Manta, serious speeches by Aquaman, who apparently has a new baby, and the Black Trident enemy, who has a lot of power. The trailer begins with Aquaman back near his lighthouse home, contemplating life with Tamora Morrison's Tom Curry. But there's still a lot of drama and chaos under the water as Aquaman battles a huge submarine beneath and foes on the beach. The film is among the highly anticipated movies of 2023.
Yeah.
One of the major reasons is because it's set to be the last film in the DCU before the transition to the new DCU, headed by James Gunn. Now, Jason Momoa reprises his role, obviously, as Arthur Curry, a.k.a. Aquaman. Returning cast members also include Patrick Wilson as Orm Marius, Yaul Abdul-Mateen II as David Kane / Black Manta, Tamora Morrison as Tom Curry, Nicole Kidman as Atlanta, Amber Heard, which we're still like, that was controversy as well. She's back as Mira, and Randall Park as Dr. Stephen Shin. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will be released on December 20th.
Very exciting. I feel like they are the marketing thing. They are the marketing team. The actors are. I don't think Warner Brothers is going to push this thing at all.
Yeah, according to Momoa, they didn't even pay attention to his treatment.
Exactly. Like it was like a 50-page treatment, and they like barely took anything from it, which really sucks, man. It really sucks because he's a great guy and he's a great character. So yeah, man, I just really feel like they're not even really caring about this film.
Although I did see Peter Safran say that he's excited to work with Momoa for years to come in the DCU. And what was really interesting at the end of his statement, he said, and he hopes that that's in the world of Aquaman. So maybe those rumors of him playing Lobo are not true. Maybe they're going to revamp Aquaman. That would be interesting.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Well, director Denis Villeneuve has joined the A-list cast stars Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, for a release of their new trailer for Dune Part 2. Now, the sequel to Dune, remember that was in 2021, the original. Reports say that the trailer, which has not been released online following the unveiling, shows Chalamet's Paul Aretes and Zendaya's Shani sitting on the dunes. Florence Pugh's Princess Orlana and Austin Butler's Fade Urutha Harukin are also seen in the trailer, which ends with Paul in a sandstorm. Now, Dennis, the director, said, quote, "Part 1 is more of a contemplative movie. Part 2 is an action-packed epic war movie, and it is much more dense, and we all get to see new locations, which is very exciting. The film is slated to be released on November 3rd. So that'll be interesting."
And Zendaya also poked in and said, "And I'm in it far more."
That's
Because
good.
remember, that was the thing in the first one.
Yeah.
They used her throughout the whole marketing thing, and everybody was going to see it, and she was barely in it. So she's in this one full on, guys. Don't worry. But that wasn't it for Timothée Chalamet. He also presented the first trailer for Wonka. Chalamet, of course, plays the titular character of Willy Wonka in the upcoming film. The story follows a young Willy before he opens his elusive chocolate factory. The extended trailer finds Wonka confronting a dangerous chocolate cartel and dealing with an Oompa Loompa played by none other than Hugh Grant. Now, among the other actors in the film are Olivia Colman, Keegan-Michael Key, Sally Hawkins, Matt Lucas, Rowan Atkinson, Natasha Rothwell, Rufus Jones, and Simon Farnaby. Wonka will see a theatrical release December 15th. So there you go.
That is very exciting. He is my Tom Cruise to what Tom Cruise is to you. Like, I like things that he's in, but I don't like him as a person. Well, Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling joined director Greta Gerwig for an extended trailer release for Barbie. Now, Robbie and Gosling were talking about their social media like trend that was the hot pink outfits that was going everywhere. Of course, they were also wearing that as well. Robbie wore the Prada with accessories from Louis Vuitton's and Chanel. Now, in the never before seen footage, which played enthusiastically to the room of theater owners, Barbie is living the good life. That is until more than a few unusual phenomenas, um, like cold showers, burnt waffles, funky haircuts, weird smelling basements, start to rattle the inhabitants of Barbie Land. Now, Barbie and friends are particularly scandalized as the doll's perfectly arched heels transform into flat feet.
Uh-oh.
The horror, oh my God. She goes on a journey to visit Weird Barbie, played by Kate McKinnon. That's hilarious. Who offers her voice between high heels and Birkenstocks. Then she is set to tune of Closer to Find by Indigo Girls. Barbie ventures off into the real world. She's surprised by Ken, who pops up in the trunk of her convertible with the roller skates. Of course, his roller skates. Why wouldn't he not be wearing those? I literally never go anywhere without them, he says. Simu Liu, Kate McKinnon, Issa Rae, Hari Neff, John Cena, Dua Lipa are among those who played the various versions of Barbie and Ken in this movie. Now, the film is set to be released in theaters on July 21st. It definitely does seem like a summer blockbuster. I'm very curious to see how this one's going to do because a lot of people are actually excited about it. And that trend, that like social media thing that went around, like
Yeah.
that made it popular. But then it's just, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm totally mixed bag on this one. I kind of want to see it, and then I kind of don't. I just don't know. I do know though that this footage also kind of hinted that John Cena's Ken and Dua Lipa's Mermaid Barbie potentially in a relationship. So that will be hilarious if that is true. Oprah Winfrey. Yes, Oprah. Come on our show. You know her. We love her. She was appearing with director Blitz Boswooly and showed the first footage ever screened from The Color Purple, a rousing and lush production that particularly showcased femme fatale Taraji P. Henson. The film will open this coming Christmas Day and boasts serious musical and Hollywood star power. American Idol winner Fantasia Barrino will reprise the role of Celie, which she originated in the musical, which, if you guys don't know, Color Purple became a musical and went on Broadway, which the show was produced by Oprah Winfrey, Quincy Jones, and Scott Sanders. Now, Danielle Brooks will return as Sophia, a role she originated in the Broadway musical, which was recognized with a Tony nomination. Winfrey, if you don't remember herself, was part of Steven Spielberg's directed 1985 film adaptation of the movie, The Color Purple. This time, she's a producer on this film, the musical. So it makes sense. I mean, she's been heavily involved since the get-go. So
it really does, man. It really does. Well, another mega trailer and / footage release of The Nun 2. The direct to sequel to acclaimed horror movie The Nun back in 2018, which is set in the Conjuring universe. The video, not released online though, so don't go looking for it, offered the first look at the upcoming Conjuring universe sequel, including the return of such characters as Thaisa Firmer's sister Irene and introducing Storm Reed's unnamed character. According to reports, the trailer shows a young girl in Romania sent to clean a church, only to be bullied by a bunch of girls attempting to scare her by forcing her to stare at a stained glass window. After leaving her alone in the dark, she sees the nun emerge behind her, but her attempt to escape the church fails as the mean girls have locked her the fuck in. Now, the footage then shifts into the trailer, which reveals the plot about the new wave of killings taking place at the Vatican. Believe the title demon to be responsible. Now, as the such send the newly formed ordained nun sister Irene to face her once again. Now, the Nun 2 footage highlights far more stylish production design than the first one, potentially indicating a bigger budget than the first one. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I love this universe, The Conjuring and everything in it. I've loved all the movies, so I'm excited for this one. Now, I'm super excited about this one. You heard me talk about 1989 Keaton's Batman. I love Michael Keaton. He's always been one of my favorites. Well, you know another little movie that came out right around that same time? It was one called Beetlejuice. Well, one of the biggest news at CinemaCon 2023 was Warner Brothers' official confirmation. It's happening, y'all. A sequel to Burton's acclaimed 1988 film Beetlejuice is in development. Reports say that a logo of Beetlejuice 2 was also revealed at the event. Now, no other details were shared, but the announcement ended all the rumors. There you have it. It is indeed happening. It is in development. It's going forward. We're going to get Beetlejuice 2.
Now we're fucked because you said it 3 times, then you said it 4 times, and now like he's coming. The walls
I
are
want
shifting.
him to come. Come on.
It's so wild, man. It's so wild. Green hair and all. Well, heading over to Paramount, they have announced that Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 will now be released Wednesday, July 12th of 2023, which is 2 days earlier than the original July 14th release date.
Oh.
The studio also shared a new trailer that presented a 20-minute clip to attendees. That's really exciting.
Oh, yeah.
The clip begins in Rome as we see Haley Atwell's character, Grace, who is being interrogated by Italian authorities. We then pick up with her in a room with Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt, and we learn that she is a master thief who was sent on a job by an unknowing client to steal a key that many people are after. Of course they are. What follows is a high-speed, adrenaline-filled chase through Rome that involves stolen police cars, Ethan and Grace handcuffed to each other, gun battling, and the mismatched car chase, and so much more, man. It's gonna be freaking crazy. So there it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Any more news on whether they're still together? There was rumors that they were dating during that thing, but I haven't heard anything about it.
No idea.
We don't know. Hey, you know what else happened there? Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Moon, which stars Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, and is based on real events of serial murders of members of Osage Nation in 1920s Oklahoma, debuted a trailer and new images at CinemaCon. The trailer revealed that Osage Nation was forced to move to what was thought to be some of the worst land in all of Oklahoma from their own land. However, they soon find there is an abundance of oil underground and begin to build great wealth that makes those who put them there pretty upset. DiCaprio's Ernest Burkhart and De Niro's William Hale devise a plan to infiltrate and marry into the Osage Nation to legally steal their wealth. But things don't go as planned, and murders start taking place that draws the attention of federal agent Tom White, played by the one and only Jesse Plemons. Now, while the trailer is yet to be released to the public, Paramount Pictures did share a few new images from the film. Killers of the Flower Moon will be released in theaters October 6th. So there you go.
Very exciting, man. Very exciting. Transformers. More than meets the eyes.
That's right.
Transformers 1, the first animated Transformers film in over 40 years, has added Chris Hemsworth as young Optimus Prime, Byron Tyree Henry as young Megatron, Scarlett Johansson as Elita, and many more. Transformers 1 will be released in theaters July 19th of 2024, and it's directed by Toy Story 4's Josh Cooley, and will serve as a prequel film to sorts of younger versions of Optimus Prime and Megatron. Joining the previously mentioned cast will also be Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee, John Hamm as Centennial Prime, and Lawrence Fishburne as Alphatron. So all of the exciting things, man.
Dude, I'm so freaking pumped about that one because Transformers, the animated movie, was one of the best films I've ever seen.
Yep.
It's on my list of all-time favorite films, regardless, animated or not. It's just fucking epic. So I'm super excited for that one. Now, the team behind Transformers Rise of the Beasts also stopped by CinemaCon to discuss the new trailer that was dropped this week. The film will take audiences on a 90s globetrotting adventure with the Autobots and introduce a whole new faction of Transformer, the Maximals, to join them as allies in the existing battle for Earth. Transformer Rise of the Beast, directed by Stephen Caple Jr., opens in theaters on June 9th.
That's very exciting,
Heck
man.
yeah.
I mean, this whole universe is just open and wide open.
Oh, yeah.
John Krasinski helped share the first footage of A Quiet Place Day One, which is based on the original idea he had. The film stars Lupita Nyong'o's Joseph Quinn, Alex Wolff, Devon Hunjo, Dennis O'Hare, and the clip takes place in New York City that was just attacked by an unknown alien force. Now, in footage, we do see and hear chaos and disaster brought upon this threat, and we see Naegos and her cat on a bus, and that they depart just before it gets cut in half by an alien pod. In the same sort, A Quiet Place Day 1 will be released in theaters on March 8th of 2024.
I'm excited for that one to see how it all started. That's
Yeah.
going to be cool. That wasn't it for Krasinski, though. He also revealed the cast for his upcoming animated film, If. The full cast, as it stands, is Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, Fiona Shaw, Callie Fleming, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Louis Gossett Jr., Alan S. Kim, Steve Carell, Bobby Moynihan, Matt Damon, Jon Stewart, Emily Blunt, Maya Rudolph, Sam Rockwell, Sebastian Maniscalco, Christopher Maloney, Richard Jenkins, Aquafina, and Vince Vaughn. Wow. Holy shit, that's an awesome cast. If, which is an animated tale about a young girl who can see people's imaginary friends who have been abandoned as they grow older, will be released in theaters on May 24th of next year. That sounds awesome.
That does sound very awesome. And yeah, what a great cast. I love when animated films put together such a great one.
That's an eclectic cast that's going to probably play the imaginary friends, which is going to be fucking awesome.
Exactly. Well, going over to NBC Universal, they brought the first ever footage of Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba and Ariana Grande's Glinda in the movie version of Wicked to CinemaCon.
Yes.
Cynthia and Grande weren't on hand to perform, but viewers were able to hear captivating sounds of the classic Broadway tunes like Defying Gravity and Popular in the background of the dazzling magical footage. The never before seen clip begins with Michelle Yeoh's Madame Morrible works with the green-skinned Elphaba and to help her control her gift. Once you learn to harness your emotions, the sky is the limit. Now, Morrible tells her student, the featurette gives a sense of the sweeping, brightly lit set that includes scenes of Elpa roaming the halls of Shiz University before meeting Glinda. Now, who presents her new roommate with the ironic pointy black hat. Now, later in the trailer, Jeff Goldblum makes an appearance with the wonderful Wizard of Oz, and the blonde-haired Glinda transports by a bubble. Elphaba sports her signature black broomstick, of course. I mean, what else would she have? But it's this moment of sisterhood that stand out. Now, Wicked reveals the backstory of the friends turned enemies known as the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda the Good Witch. The first Wicked is landing in theaters November 27th of 2024, with the second installment to follow on December 25th of 2025.
Yeah. So a Thanksgiving release and a Christmas release. There you go. All right. The Exorcist, the rebooted franchise from Universal Pictures and Blumhouse, debuted its first trailer. The new saga is led by Tony and Grammy Award winner Leslie Odom Jr. and Ellen Bernstein, who reprises the role of Chris McNeil from the 1973 original, directed by William Friedkin. Now, the first Exorcist was a critical and commercial phenomenon, following two priests trying to rid an innocent girl of a nasty demonic possession. Many are saying the new trailer is the scariest trailer the studio has ever cut, and it delivered, possessing not one, but two girls in a franchise restarter that producer Jason Blum said feels fresh and modern. It has been subtitled The Exorcist Believer. Lydia Jewett and Olivia Markham star as schoolyard pals who go missing in the woods, return to their parents after what they think is hours, but in reality is 3 days. In no time, the girls exhibit strange symptoms and long bouts of staring dead-eyed into the mirror. And doubt, of course, pops up as a worried nurse, and seriously scary shit starts to go down from there. It becomes clear that both have been taken over by sinister forces, especially in one horrifying scene when Markham storms a church service in broad daylight. Now, as a priest delivers the Eucharist, she screams. The blood. This is what she screams. Are you ready? The body and the blood repeatedly in the franchise signature booming demon voice. Announced nearly 2 years ago, Universal committed a staggering $400 million for the new trilogy, with plans for a traditional wide release and an exclusive video on demand window for its streaming service Peacock. So, woo, this one, the first one scared the ever living shit out of me. So if this one's anywhere near as scary, I'm all in.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, Ethan Cohen's latest solo project just shifted into higher gear, showing the first trailer at CinemaCon, Drive Away Dolls, the road movie that releases two best friends and the Helpless Crooks is the latest film from co-director of modern classics like No Country for Old Men, Inside Llewyn Davis, and Fargo. During the Focus Features selection of Universal's presentation, the audience was served up with a sleek and sexy road noir with a major ensemble. Margaret Qualley and Geraldine of Winch Vaughn leading, along with Bernie Feldson, Pedro Pascal, Coleman Domingo, Bill Camp, and Matt Damon.
Wow.
The movie follows Jamie, a free-spirited, mourning her first breakup, and Marin, a wallflower in desperate need of adventure. The pair embark on a spontaneous trip to Tallahassee, but things quickly go airy when they cross paths with a group of crazy fucking criminals. The film is set to release in September.
Does that sound like a modern day Thelma and Louise?
A
to
little
you?
bit.
Yeah. All right, let's jump on over to Sony. And Sony Pictures actually opened CinemaCon 2023 with a slate of major movie trailers, releases, and announcements. And of course, can we talk about Sony without the big one, right? 14 minutes of new footage for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was revealed. And according to reports, the footage shows Miles Morales, his parents, and Gwen Stacy. Miles, who has been grounded for a reason not revealed, is visited by Gwen from a different universe. They talk about preventing the collapse of the dimensions and swing around webs through Brooklyn. It ends with Miles receiving encouragement from his mother to take on his world-saving mission. Shamik Moore voices Miles, while Haley Steinfeld is the voice of Gwen. Both were present at CinemaCon, along with other cast members Issa Rae, who voices Jessica Drew, and co-director Kemp Powers. Now, this is highly anticipated, guys. Everybody's waiting for this one. So when can you see it? June 2nd. That's when it's hitting theaters.
So freaking excited about it. I feel like everybody's been talking about this thing. Now, Aaron Taylor Johnson greeted attendees at the event with a pre-recorded message. He said that Kraven the Hunter, in which he plays that title role, will be the first rated R Marvel movie by Sony. Now, the 2-minute teaser trailer of the film was showcased following Taylor Johnson's announcement. It reportedly shows our Sergei Karanov, aka Kraven, brutally defeating missionaries and poachers. Among others, stars in the film are Russell Crowe as Sergei's father and Alessandro Nivola as the famous Spider-Man villain Rhino. Now, Ariana DeBose and Christopher Abbott are also among the principal cast. The film is expected to hit theaters October 6th. So that one, I mean, I like Aaron Taylor Johnson, so I'm trying to stay hopeful.
I'm hopeful too, but it just seems like every live action Spider-Man movie that doesn't involve Spider-Man or Venom fails miserably. So I hope not.
I mean, let's be honest about it. The Venom movies were like top tier mid. I mean, they weren't great, but I mean, they weren't bad.
Yeah.
So
And I think the only reason that that's even the case is because they had Kevin Feige advise them a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. High hopes, though. I'm with you. High hopes. A battle scene from Ridley Scott's period film Napoleon was also presented. The footage reportedly shows Napoleon using his tact to outsmart the combined Austrian and Russian forces during the battle. He forces his enemies enemies onto a frozen lake and then destroys the lake with cannon fire, causing numerous casualties as the water is filled with blood. Academy winner Joaquin Phoenix plays Napoleon. Vanessa Kirby stars as Empress Josephine. Napoleon is expected to be released on November 22nd. That's going to be epic, I think.
It really is, man. I mean, Joaquin's just kind of everywhere right
He
now.
is.
Well, two-time Oscar winner Denzel Washington presented the first trailer of The Equalizer 3, in which he reprises the former government assassin Robert McCall, and the film is described as the final chapter in this story, indicating that it would be the last with Washington as Robert. The film also unites Washington with Dakota Fanning, with whom he co-starred in Man of Fire back in 2004, when latter was a child artist. Now, both Washington and Fanning were on stage for the trailer reveal, and the film, directed by Antoine Fuqua, will be released on September 1st. So that is very exciting. Those do pretty well.
The trailer is fucking badass. He goes back to the old watch thing. He's like, I'm going to give you 9 seconds. And they're like, what the fuck? 9 seconds to decide how you want to die. Like, I mean, and he's got a gun to his head. He isn't even fucking phased. And he's like, 9, 8. The fucking, you gotta watch this trailer. It has me so fucking pumped to see this movie, man. I can't wait. Orlando Bloom and Stranger Things star David Harbour presented a new trailer for Gran Turismo, the movie. The film is based on the life of Jan Mardenborough, a real-life Gran Turismo player who actually became a professional racer. Now, Archie Madekwe plays Mardenborough in the film. It also stars Damien Hassoun as Mardenborough's father. Harbour plays Jack Salter, a retired race car driver who trains Jan. The film is set for release in theaters on August 11th.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, an extended trailer of Insidious, The Red Door was released at the event. The film is the 5th installment in the famous Insidious franchise, and its story is set 10 years after the events of the first 2 original films. Now, Insidious from 2010 and Insidious Chapter 2 from 2013. Now, this is going to be Insidious Red Door, of course, that marks the feature directorial debut of Patrick Wilson, who plays Josh Lambert in the first 2 movies. So that's very exciting.
Oh, yeah. Now,
Wilson does reprise his role in the 5th installment. Cast members include Rose Byrne, his wife, as his wife Ronnie, Ty Simpkins as their son Dalton, and Andrew Astor as their son Foster. Now, Sinclair Daniel, Peter Dagger, and Chaim Abbas are among the other cast members. Now, the trailer shows both Josh and Dalton fighting demons of the past, the latter's new university. Now, the film is set to hit theaters July 7th.
Pumped for that one too. Are you an Insidious fan? I'm a huge Insidious fan.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like The Conjuring and Insidious, they get crossed in my mind a lot. So I mean, I'm just looking for something to scare me. I love jump scares, so yeah.
Yeah. I love the franchise. It is one of the rare ones that did kind of scare me the first time I watched it. So I'm all in on that one. Finn Wolford, Carrie Coon, Paul Rudd, and McKenna Grace were seen in footage from the sequel of Ghostbusters Afterlife, about which not much is known. The sequel footage shows the cast members in New York City, which was the setting for the 2 original films from 84 and 89. The 4 cast members are seen leaning against Ecto-1, the vehicle that the Ghostbusters use on their missions. And that's about all we saw.
That's all we got,
So
man.
we're just saying that's the new team. That's apparently the new team of Ghostbusters. And we know Ernie Hudson is returning.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in New York.
Yeah. That's all we got.
That's all we know so far.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
What a presentation.
Well, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence shared a message virtually at the convention, sharing the news about the 4th installment of Bad Boys. Now, they revealed that the film, in its 4th week of filming, Aldi El Abari and Balia Falah who helmed Bad Boys for Life, will be directing the 4th installment as well. The cast reportedly includes Paulette Nunes, Vanessa Hudgens, Alexander Ludwig, and Eric Dane.
There you go.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's another one of those where it was rumored. Was it happening? Was it not happening? So I feel like this announcement was just to confirm, yeah, we're filming it right now. It's fucking happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you would know Eric Dane has time off of his hands, but you haven't finished Euphoria season 2. I'm just saying.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
okay. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's jump Let's jump over to Lionsgate. Now, this one is hugely anticipated, and everybody's hoping that it's going to do what the first ones did. We'll see. Lionsgate dropped the first official trailer for The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the latest franchise installment based on Suzanne Collins' prequel novel, a New York Times bestseller. Now, the film stars Tom Blythe, Rachel Ziegler, Peter Dinklage, Hunter Schafer, Josh Andreas Rivera, Jason Schwartzman, and Viola Davis for director Francis Lawrence. Now, the trailer prominently features its adult cast dressed in the wildest Panem garb, giving some familiar vibes to the original series of the films. The prequel takes place more than half a century before the events of 2012's The Hunger Games, while the story of Katniss Everdeen began at the 74th annual Hunger Games. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is set during the 10th edition. The prequel promises to fill in gaps in the series' mythology and offer an origin story for Panem President Cornelius Snow, President Snow,
That guy.
who was originally played by Donald Sutherland. Tom Blythe stars as the 18-year-old version of Snow, then a veteran of dystopian sporting event who is tasked with mentoring Lucy Gray, a young District 12 tribute played by Rachel Ziegler. More specifically, the trailer shows that though this is not the first Hunger Games or Reaping, it is the first time that the games are becoming an event and sensationalized television. The trailer has the look of the vintage Panem, but also shows more old-fashioned tubed television and other retro technology. Even the arena where the Hunger Games take place is not some sprawling exotic landscape, but a far smaller room with just a few obstacles. And Snow is hardly the villain, but a hunk. Apparently, he's briefly shirtless. Okay.
Oh, sure.
And is hardly the villain. But hey, anyway, he eventually becomes complicit in the Capitol's games. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is set to open in theaters Friday, November 17th.
Goodness gracious, man. That's crazy. I just feel like, this is a franchise that's definitely going to help Lionsgate get back to where they need to be.
I hope so. And John Wick. That's about the only two things they've had successful.
That's all they got going for them. Well, Saw 10 or Saw X, whichever word, sported a logo that invokes the classic grimy, stretched out title scene of each installment. The horror sequel wrapped filming back in February, as confirmed by director Kevin Gritt, now who returned to the helm of the film after previously stepping behind the camera for the other Saws. Listen, I'm a millennial and I don't know how to read Roman numerals. And the follow-up to 2021 Spiral from the Book of Saw. Now, this installment will take viewers back to the earliest installments of the franchise, taking place between the first two Saw films. Further details about the plot are being kept under wraps, but it'll see a number of fresh faces thrown into Jigsaw's games, including Sven Lund, Stephen Brand, and a whole bunch of other people. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And the mastermind, of course, John Kramer, it will once again be played by Tobin Bell. Now, Swanee Smith, who also returns as Amanda Young, bringing the survivor turned serial killer back into the mix. Now, the film is set to due out in theaters around Halloween on October 27th. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Do we need more Saw films? I don't know. We don't. But I'm excited Shawnee's coming back. I did like that character. So
yeah, exactly.
The official logo for the Expendables 4 was also shown and highlighted the star-studded cast of the action heroes to die for. Their arrival at CinemaCon marks the second straight year they've been promoted as part of the Lionsgate slate after the film received its first trailer at last year's event. It's been a long journey for Barney Ross, aka Sylvester Stallone, and company to reach the big screen once more. Following the commercial failure of the Expendables 3, all hope pretty much seemed lost that these characters would see the light of day again. But now, following some delays, the film is back on track and set to release on September 22nd, with Stallone returning for his last round as the character, joining Dolph Lundgren, Jason Statham, and Randy Couture, along with several other prominent faces, including Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Tony Jai, Iko Awusu, Megan Fox, Andy Garcia, Edie Hall, Sheila fell Jacob Sikabio and Levi Tran. So plot details are rather thin here as well, though Scott Waugh's crack at the franchise will see the mercenaries sucked into a conspiracy that could lead to a nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia. Like the fan favorite installments before it, The Expendables 4 will also go back to an R rating, letting Ross and Pales let loose. I think that's why Expendables 3 failed. There was a fucking PG-13. It wasn't anywhere near as good as the other ones, I thought.
That doesn't make any sense, guys. Come on. Well, the final logo unveiled for Ordinary Angels, a drama starring $1 Million Babies Hilary Swank and Reacher's Alan Ritchson. Now, that's all about hope and everyday miracles, hailing from John Gunn. The film stars Swank as Sharon Steves, a small town hairdresser who discovers a renewed sense of purpose after meeting a hardworking widower, Ed Schmidt. He is desperately trying to keep things afloat for his two daughters, and Sharon tries her best to help out the family as they wait for a kidney transplant. For Ed's youngest daughter. Lionsgate recently shared first images of the film, and with a logo now unveiled, a trailer should be close and hopefully hopeful drama. It's currently slated to be released about April 13th or October 13th.
Yeah, sounds good.
It does.
I mean, I like both of those actors, so
Yeah.
Okay, jumping over to Amazon/MGM, who didn't have anything at CinemaCon, so we're just going to give you some news they did have. Amazon Studios announced in an internal memo this week that it will combine its theatrical distribution team with that of the recently acquired MGM, with Kevin Wilson serving as president of the division. Now, in addition to Wilson's promotion, Valente announced that Amazon Studios distribution chief Mark Boxer will remain with the studio as head of specialty distribution, reporting to Wilson. Wilson was a longtime partner of MGM theatrical distribution chief Eric Lomas, who died this past March. He will oversee all of Amazon and MGM's domestic theatrical distribution strategy and report to Amazon Films division head Courtney Valente. So there you go. I mean, it makes sense. They're merging all these things. When you take two companies together, you got to kind of consolidate.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Well, heading over to Netflix, they have released the first official images of Ed McKay's and Meg Bellamy's as college-age Prince William and Kate Middleton in The Crown.
Yes.
Now, the duo are set to make their debuts as the show's sixth and final season, which is due to air later this year. That's exciting. Now, the season 6 log line reads, as the Crown enters a new decade, Prince William starts university at St. Andrews and determining the lead role normal to life as possible, as much as he can, trying to stay normal, but you cannot do that when you're a prince. Also beginning life as a university student. And is Kate Middleton from Berkshire. As the pair meet for the first time on campus, a new romance and a new future for the Crown begins. Filming on the series, which launched back in 2016, will officially be wrapped this past Friday. It already wrapped. Fantastic. The Crown represents screen debut for both actors. That's really exciting. While McKay has done some theater performances in London, Bellamy was selected from an open casting call on social media.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting.
How fucking awesome is that? Social media casting call, and she's playing Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
In one of the biggest shows ever. So that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. But what's also insane is Cocaine Bear, guys. Oh my freaking gosh. If you guys haven't seen this movie yet, be sure to check it out on Peacock. It's absolutely wild. Make a drinking game out of all the deaths. Who fucking knows? And we talk about that in our interview with Kahyun Kim. Oh my goodness. She is absolutely amazing and just a fun personality and like a good example of not taking everything so seriously.
Oh yeah. This whole interview, we were just laughing hysterically. She's so funny, and she had us just in stitches the whole time, but also was very serious about how she got started in the industry and about how her support system and her family were brutally honest with her about whether you couldn't do what you were trying to do, and really guided her along. So it's a really good interview for all you up and comers, as well as being really funny and entertaining. So.
Exactly. Well, here she is. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, man, oh man, her interview is available right now. Be sure to check that out after the show is done. Man, we're super excited about it. She really is just absolutely amazing. And here's a little bit of, behind the scenes stuff that you're only going to get on the YouTube channel because the dog is a little antsy. I don't know if you knew. So I'm going to feed him real quick. And while he's eating, we can just talk about what we're excited about and things like that,
Yeah.
and you can cut it out of the audio, but let me feed him real quick, and we'll come back, and while he's eating we can banter back and forth, but this is exclusively on YouTube.
That's
Be
right.
excited about it.
That's right. Peanut has a very specific eating time, and he is letting us know without doubt. I'm just glad we're back, guys. Are you super pumped we're back? We haven't done a full show in like a month. And we're still pretty damn good. We got all of that CinemaCon news in an hour, which I thought for sure we were going to go way long with that, but we got it in like an hour and 8. That's fucking phenomenal, huh?
It was really
we
crazy.
Still kick ass. I mean, that was pretty quick for all that news. So, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy too, because like a lot of that news, it was a lot of drama, a lot of horror. And then you had that one at the end that was like, oh, this is a love story.
Yeah.
Like that one single thing that, I mean, we need more romance, man. We need more romance. But it did. I'm very excited about it. A lot of good stuff, it seems like, and a lot of good premises. So
for sure,
it should be very interesting to see how that goes.
I'm also very curious to see how these animated films for Disney play out.
Dude, I really hope they go over well, because
me too.
Even like, because Encanto, I feel it was cult classic and a lot of people were like loving it and the song was everywhere and all the shit. But I mean, obviously it didn't perform well theatrically because of the pandemic and theaters being shut down. But I mean, the ones before that they didn't really go over well. There was a lot of mixed reviews. You either really liked them or you didn't.
I'm just going to go ahead and do what I always do, and I'm going to blame it all on Chapek.
Of course.
All the failing animated films failed under Chapek.
Yeah.
He's gone. We're going to be fine. We're going to recover, and Disney will be Disney again.
I really hope so. But I mean, that Elemental one does look really good.
It really does.
I'm scared for the Wish one. I'm not going to lie, though, because it's one of those premises where I feel like it's kind of like Lightyear, where you kind of have to know what they're going for, because some people will maybe miss the target. That's what I'm worried about.
So I agree with you. They have to let people know in the biggest way possible that the star that they are talking about is the star that is in the song When You Wish Upon a Star that all the fucking Disney movies are about.
Yeah.
If you don't drill that home, they will have no fucking idea what the star is, and that'll fail. You gotta, like, don't fuck up like you did with Lightyear. You've got to market this fucker as what it is, which is the star that everybody wishes on Disney. So don't fuck that up.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But I mean, a lot of stuff came out of CinemaCon, guys. Like that was absolutely insane. But it looks like the dog is done, so we can jump into the back half of the show. A little extra tidbit, a little extra content for you guys. A little, we didn't get to talk a lot about stuff because we were just trying to blow through it. But yeah, I think we did pretty good too.
Yeah.
All right. Let's stretch out a little bit. All right, now it is time for the top 5 segment, man. Are you guys still here? You guys still good? Hey, come on, be good.
Woo!
Good.
Unbuckle the straps. Yeah. Just relax now. We're all done with CinemaCon.
We're almost there.
That's
right. Almost there. But we're super excited about this top 5 because with every great superhero actor, there is a great superhero or a great super villain actor and or actress. So that's always very freaking exciting. So, I mean, of course, I would just have to throw this out there. My honorable mention, of course, is Heath Ledger as Joker. I feel like that would have been too obvious, though. So I didn't officially put that on my list. But of course, just gotta do an honorable mention. But number 5 for me goes to William Dafoe as the Green Goblin in Spider-Man. I mean, of course, he was obviously so good. They brought him back for No Way Home, but I don't know. Just something about that man's face is like, it gives you those villain vibes, right? I mean, it's just like, this guy is up to something no good, especially when he's like in his like, when he's completely shifted over to the Green Goblin, when that personality is coming out, that smile and that that face, those eyes, they get all wide and shit, like so freaking good. But yeah, he is definitely on the list. I feel like, to give him more opportunities for villain roles, I feel like would be very good. Long been wanting people have been wanting him to play the Joker. But I mean, he does really well with Green Goblin, so that's why I got to put him on this one. Number 5 for me, William Dafoe as the Green Goblin in the original Spider-Man.
Yeah, there you go. And my number 5, I feel the same way about the face. John Malkovich, who's just, his face just seems like he's a bad guy. He's probably one of the nicest guys ever, but he just seems like he's a total villain. And my movie that I really chose him for is In the Line of Fire, where he's like this psychopath assassin trying to take out a Secret Service member who, when he failed to assassinate a president, now he's after this like Secret Service guy. He's fucking psychotic in this film.
Oh, shit.
And he's so good. He's so methodical and he's very calm and driven. But then when he keeps not having it go his way, you know, and it's Clint Eastwood who plays a Secret Service agent, keeps besting him. Malkovich just loses his shit. When he loses his shit and goes fucking crazy, that's when he really just starts getting into it. And of course, John's played villains in other films, but that one stands out for me because it's that very methodical, driven, calm psychopath who eventually just loses his shit, and it's the best ever. John Malkovich, man, in my number 5, he's so fun. If you haven't seen In the Line of Fire, it's one of Clint Eastwood's best films. Definitely, Rene Russo is in it. Definitely check it out. It's fucking fantastic film.
Oh man, for sure. Number 4 for me, if you guys listen to the show at all, you would know this as well. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern as the freaking villains in Home Alone. Of course, they're great bad guys. I mean, especially they're the real life bad guys. Okay, these people, like, I mean, they're it's mirroring society. So that type of dynamic where you feel like, you know, they're just trying to do the best they can and get a quick dollar. That's those are the real life bad guys. Those are the real life villains. But I mean, Joe Pesci in general is just a great actor, and what he does as a bad guy is so fucking good. And I mean, you cannot discount Daniel as well. I absolutely love his interpretation of Marv. They're both just absolutely amazing. Of course, I have to say Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone 1. Unpopular opinion, maybe, but I just love it more. But yeah, number 4 for me, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern.
Your number 4 and 3 crack me up because they're comedic. So they're like villains, but they're like villains you got to try to love.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially Daniel Stern, because unlike you, because you're a youngin', but I'm old. And the whole time I'm watching that film, I just can't get Wonder Years out of my head because he's the adult, the narrator of Wonder Years way back in the day. And that's all I hear. It's Kevin. All I'm hearing is Kevin in this film. And I was just like, but it's funny. It's a good choice. My number 4, Glenn Close, Fatal Attraction. That's all that I need. A Fatal Attraction. This is a nice little movie with Michael Keaton where he has and Ann Archer. They're happily married, but he has a little affair with Glenn Close, and Glenn Close becomes ridiculously psycho and obsessed with the man and tries to call him out and ruin his marriage because she really wants him. And when he doesn't want her, well, she goes batshit fucking crazy. How batshit fucking crazy? Oh, I don't know. You know, boiling the family bunny rabbit in a fucking pan on the stove.
My God.
Psycho fucking crazy. Yeah, she is twisted, hardcore villainous in this film. They're making a TV show of this. I don't know if it's already airing or not. I think maybe it is. But the movie was crazy, and it will surely make you think about having a one-night stand or an affair. Because if you ever like hook up with that bitch, look the fuck out. Like it's not worth it. Just stay home. Don't do it. That's all I'm saying, man. She was insane crazy. Like butcher knife killing, like just crazy.
Oh no.
If you want to see a good psychopath woman, Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction, just check her out. It's like fucking crazy.
There you go, man. There you go. Number 3 for me goes to Michael Keaton for 2 separate roles. A Beetlejuice. Now we fucking said it 5 times. We're so screwed. Gosh, yeah, We're so screwed, Peanut. But now, of course, Spider-Man Homecoming when he plays Vulture as well. So I mean, I feel like he's a really good bad guy as well as he's a really good guy. So I mean, this is how eclectic this man is, and this is why we're so excited to see his resurgence in the entertainment industry. So I had to put him on there. Had to put him on there for 2 separate roles though. So just got to put that out. But mainly Beetlejuice. But also Homecoming Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I hate that I can't remember the name of this movie or even who his co-stars were, but there's this one thing where there's this couple that's living in a house and he's like a fucking psychopathic neighbor or like and I mean he stalks them and it's like he's crazy fucking scary in that film.
Oh,
So
goodness.
yeah, he does really play a good bad guy. And I'll look it up. I'll post maybe on social media what the name of that film is. But yeah, he does play you wouldn't think so, but he's a really bad fucking bad guy. It's awesome. My number 3, Mr. Anderson, Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving, V for Vendetta, fucking Matrix, fucking Red Skull. Like this guy is the epitome of a bad guy. He is the go-to villain. If his face looks fucking scary as shit. Like all my guys have scary fucking faces. But if you ever look at fucking Hugo Weaving, he looks scary even when he's smiling. It's like he's going to fucking kill me. It's Hugo Weaving.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I just named 3 of the numerous films this guy has played a bad guy in, and all of them are fucking crazy. And for me, like it seems like all of the villains that he plays are like brilliant masterminds, like Red Skull and for V for Vendetta, and even Agent Smith. They're all very manipulative and calculating and smart villains. They're not just like psychopath crazy people, you know? And so that I think sometimes that makes it even more disturbing, right? Like when they're just a very calm, methodical, I'm going to kill you kind of a person. I'd rather the psychopath coming at me with the butcher knife. I mean, I don't know, but
exactly. Well, I mean, as we were sitting here talking about it, I mean, Kevin Costner and Brooks, is that what it's called? That fucking wow.
Oh
like
God,
I mean, they so calm, collected. And he's like a doctor or some shit, but he's also a serial killer.
It's just crazy.
I love it. I love it. Number 2 for me goes to Jonathan Majors as Kang, you know, because he did do good. He did do a good job as Kang. I liked it. But yeah, I'm just saying, just want to throw that out there. That's really all I can say about it, with it being such a touchy subject right now. But yeah, Kang, Jonathan Majors, Ant-Man.
Yeah. Well, he was a badass in Creed 3 too. He was a super villain in Creed 3 too, and apparently maybe in real life.
Yeah.
Apparently,
allegedly.
We didn't say was. Don't come at us.
Yeah.
We don't know. Innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty.
Hands off.
That's right. My number 2 is the woman that infamously screamed, "He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car!" Kathy Bates in Misery. This woman who kidnaps the author of her favorite book and does so because she's pissed that things didn't happen in the book the way she wanted it to. So he's in a car accident. She drags him out of the car. She brings him to the cabin. You think, oh, she's going to save him. Everything's going to be great. Just happens to be her favorite author and everything. No. She's kidnapped him because she's pissed off that she doesn't like the way everything is going. Throughout the show, she even takes a fucking mallet hammer and smashes James Caan's legs. James Caan, Mr. Badass Gangster Villain, I will whoop your ass in a heartbeat, is strapped in a bed getting his legs fucking smashed by Kathy Bates. That's how badass she is in this movie, okay? Misery, y'all. That woman is crazy. She plays so many different roles, but that role as a psychopath woman pissed off at her favorite author is terrifying. It's like, now you're scared to write anything. It's like, oh, you didn't like my movie? Fuck. Yeah, I mean, this woman is just scary good. Scary, scary good. If you haven't seen Misery, brilliant film, but James Caan is excellent because he's basically in this bed the entire film.
Yeah.
And so the acting that he does and the manipulation that he's trying to do towards her to appease her and save himself is just unreal. The back and forth between the two of them is brilliant. But Kathy Bates is scary as fuck in that movie. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, do so. Misery.
All right. Number 1 for me goes back to Harry Potter. And if you're thinking about Harry Potter, you're thinking about, Voldemort. I mean, Snape halfway through, but you haven't gotten here yet. And I'm really waiting for you to, because for villains, there's always like that, I can like them. I can see it. No, I hated this lady. There was nothing I liked about her. And if you know who I'm talking about, we're talking about Order of Phoenix, Imelda Stratton, and she plays Professor Umbridge. She freaking sucks. She just plays that that know-it-all, I will say, bitch that she just got this smile about it when she's doing something evil and like, I will not tell lies. Like, it's so frustrating. But yes, if you are a Harry Potter fan, you know how much of this lady freaking sucks. Okay. Everything in that whole movie, that is my least favorite film because of her. Like, I can't.
The least
man.
favorite in the franchise because of bitch.
her. Like, I hate her so freaking much. But yeah, I guess that she's really good at acting. I will say that.
Yeah, because she's probably a gem.
She probably is.
Come on the show. Prove
Yeah.
to Logan that you are a nice person.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, number one, Professor Umbridge from Order of Phoenix.
There
Just
you
saying,
go.
just
My
saying.
number one is Jack. Do I even have to say the last name? Of course not. Fucking Jack. Jack Nicholson, my all-time favorite villain. You could there's a plethora of, you can go so many different films, right? You can go Departed. You can go A Few Good Men. You can go fucking Batman as the Joker. You can, I mean, there's just The Shining, fucking Jack Torrance. Does it get any more fucking villainous or creepy than fucking Jack Torrance? I mean, no. Johnny's Home, like, oh, fuck that, man. That scared the shit out of me. Him at the end, frozen in that fucking snow, is the most villainous, scary face I've ever seen in my fucking life. That and the twins. Like, I'm just saying, it's like, and before Heath Ledger, right? I mean, it was the given that he would play the Joker. He was just that creepy, that Jack Torrance smile from The Shining. Everybody's like, that's the fucking Joker. Like, so. But then the methodical, like I said, calm, villain, like he was in Departed or like he was in A Few Good Men, where it's just, he believes he's doing the right thing, even though he's a piece of shit asshole.
Yeah, right.
And that kind of a villain, kind of a guy. So, and I think nobody does it better than Jack Nicholson, in my opinion. He's just that guy that you want to love him, even though he's a fucking dick. Yeah. Like, you hate this guy, but you fucking love him. Yeah. Like, I do want Colonel Jessup on the fucking wall guarding me. He's right when he yells that to him. You want me on that wall. You're fucking right. I want you on that wall because we're going to be safe if you're on that fucking wall because you're a psychopath fucking killer. I want you. So I don't know. I fucking love Jack Nicholson. And if you don't want him on the wall, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Well, that is our top 5, guys. We appreciate you. Be sure to let us know your top 5 actors or actresses that play good villains. We really want to know. Comment below in the comment section, YouTube, Twitter. We love starting a conversation. Be sure, to follow us and, have a little fun. Let us know. We love the fan interaction.
We do.
Now, heading over to the box office recap, the Super Mario is making a lot of freaking money, guys. And apparently it's really freaking good. It's one of those movies I definitely want to see. It came in at number 1 last week with $58.2 million. Number 2 was Evil Dead Rise. I want to see that one as well. That already got greenlit for a sequel. That came in at number 2 with $23.5 million. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant came in at number 3 with 3.6. John Wick Chapter 4 came in at number 4 with 5.8. And Dungeons & Dragons is still hanging on in that top 5 segment, or that top 5 releases, Honor Among Thieves, and it came in at 5.4 million.
I have to tell you, that's the first time in a very long time that the top 5 are all movies that I want to see. That are all good movies.
Literally.
Like I seriously am interested in seeing every one of those. Mm-hmm. And it has been a very long time since I could say that about the top 5. It's usually, number 1 was this, and we don't give a fuck about the other 4. But that's an actual good list.
I mean, it's really honestly the first time since pre-pandemic that you felt like, you would want to go to the theater and spend all weekend out of theater.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of movies during the pandemic, you would get one, wait a week or two, another one, wait a week or two, another one. So it is a very good time. It's nice to see it resurging a little bit.
For sure.
New movies coming out. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I know you were talking about this one.
Yeah.
Black Demon, Polite Society, Big George Foreman, and Sisu. Like I said, who knows where these will be playing, because select theaters near you, maybe check the show times, all the good stuff.
Big George Foreman, actually a faith-based film.
Interesting.
It's more about his religion and his convergence to faith.
Nice.
From being a box. So if you guys haven't seen the trailer yet or don't know the thing, it's more about that than it is his boxing career. So
very cool. Movies you can still go see right now. Air. Be sure to see Air.
Yes, go see that.
Definitely my favorite movie of 2023
so
far.
Same.
The Pope's Exorcist Exorcist, which I hear is really good. Renfield, no one's talking about that. Beau is Afraid, I also heard is really good, even though it looks like one big acid trip.
Yeah.
Again, Joaquin Phoenix. And Suzume, whatever the fuck that is. So yeah, go to the local theaters this weekend, guys. Go do it. Now the IMDbPro's top trending segment. Of course, the top trending movie is the Super Mario Brothers movie. Top trending show is The Mandalorian, because it just came off. And the top trending star is Ana de Armas.
She could be the top trending star every week for me, and I'd be fine.
I agree.
I just love her.
No.
Have you finished Mandalorian yet?
Not yet.
Fuck, the season finale, and I guess possibly series finale, because I think it's going to roll into now the films and stuff. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking my favorite episode of the whole series, and really brought it home to like, oh shit, this is what the excitement of the first couple Mandalorians of that first season brings it all back to that. And really a nice ending for it.
Yeah,
so.
I know Moff is back. That's spoiler, but I'm really excited about it though.
Yeah,
really
you'll love it.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for getting crazy with us on episode 222. Oh, we got to thank our guest one more time, Kahyun Kim, for coming on the show. Be sure to follow her on social media. Be sure to follow us, the company, the podcast, all of us on social media. Of course, we're going to go down the list. We're going to go Crazy Ant Media, the flagship. Be sure to follow that one at Crazy Ant Media. The podcast at ITCAFpodcast on social media. The other podcast, our mental health podcast, Everything's Okay podcast. That's Everything's OKP. That's on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok.
Yep.
And of course, us personally, myself at J Logan Austin and
at Crazy Ant CEO.
That's right. And you guys know you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. We're everywhere, guys.
Literally everywhere.
Love it. And be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. And you have to follow us to know when the promotions are going to come out. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yes.
And you can watch our film and a whole bunch of other things that we got going on there. A lot of work is going into the website, so just check it out every once in a while. See what new things we got going on.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to get a total redo real soon. We've been slowly putting little pieces, but it's going to be a massive upgrade pretty soon, and you guys are going to love it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I honestly got to say, when we're reflecting on this episode, I feel like right now, where we're at in the movie climate, it's a great time for horror films.
It would seem so.
And like two really big horror films out right now and new horror films on the horizon. I feel like it's just a great thing to see, because there for a while, horror was absolutely trash. So I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, but to see the return of the Conjuring franchise and the Insidious franchise, that's huge. And then apparently Saw also. So you're right. And just overall, everything that came out of CinemaCon this year, I think the theater owners are excited, because I really do feel like, as we were going through that, there's a lot of really great shit coming out.
Agreed.
Like for the first time in a long time, I feel like, because we talked about it all the time about how, do we really want to go see a movie? Maybe there's one a month kind of thing. But after reading all that stuff from CinemaCon and seeing everything, it seems like the rest of this year is going to be a lot of great stuff that I want to go see, that I'm excited about. So finally, maybe the legit return of going to the movies at the theater. I think it's going to be a big thing. I think this is going to be the beginning of the rebound at the theaters, and I'm super pumped about that. The lawsuit, Disney, really, that got me thinking and everything. I'm going to be releasing a Management Minutes, guys, a new one, and it's diving deep into that, about when a company should and should not make statements on political issues. And whether it's a good or bad thing for a company to do it. And as you can see, it has played heavily over the last, few months, with not just Disney and Florida, but Budweiser and the transgender situation. And like, it's a tricky situation. So I'm excited that we had that in there. And I really do think Disney's going to win that lawsuit, because it is clearly a political agenda. But yeah, stay tuned for that, because I'm excited to talk about that and give our opinions on, because our brand is very important to us, and what we stand by and what we don't stand by, and when we say it and when we don't. So you'll get a little bit of insight into why we are the way we are with that. So that's going to be really fun.
Oh, for sure. And be sure to follow us again, like I said, because we will be talking all about the WGA situation and staying up to date. So be sure to stay up to date with us, follow us, all the good stuff, and we will keep you up to date. All the fun stuff, man, all the fun stuff. And it's always good to have, the person in the industry news doing great things. Because
Yes.
she's always doing great things because we love her.
Oprah!
Oh my. Oh.
Yeah. So if you cut out that whole middle section with the dog and everything, I think it's still going to be about 130, 128, 130.